Hi, hello everyone. Sorry for the delay. I think it took us a couple of minutes, and I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you're having a good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. A very warm welcome to each one of you for today's kickoff. I hope you have already started your learning journey in the last 2 days. I think the boot camp was started on Friday, both the deep learning boot camp and also the data science boot camp. And thanks a lot for such a massive response. I can see a lot of people popping in and chatting on the live chat. Thanks for joining in, and also to set the expectations right. I think talking about today's kickoff session, the objective is to talk a bit more about DeFi and also about boot camps and what you can expect from it, and what kind of support we provide in the process and everything. So that's what we are going to discuss during this particular short conversation. And if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in chat, and I'll see, if you can respond to them. And apart from that, we already have few questions that were curated, which were asked during the invitation that you received. I think a form was sent to you, and some of you have already asked some of the questions. So, yeah, let me get started with that. Let me share my screen, and let me help you get started with that. I think Mudit is also here. Okay, let me present my screen. I hope you're able to see my screen. Great, perfect. First of all, just to give you some introduction about myself, I think for those who are new, and even for those old, who don't know, I'm Chanukya. I'm the founder of DPhi, and we started DPhi a couple of years ago with the purpose to educate and build AI for everyone, with a community first approach, of course, where we want to take the community along with us in the journey of educating and building AI for all. It goes with an approach of providing quality education and also developing good AI to solve meaningful problems with the help of the people, for the people, by the people. So that's how we have coined DeFi, and we believe with your support, it's going to go a long way in shaping the future of AI and also solving some of the meaningful problems out there. And thanks for being part of the community. And we hope, you make most of the community resources which were contributed by some of the renowned industry experts, as well as, I think your learnings would help in the long run in the future, where, you can utilize your skills to be able to solve a business problem or a social problem, whatever it is, at workplace or outside workplace, or even if you're aspiring or entrepreneur, you can utilize the skill to be able to solve meaningful problems through your company, whatever it is. And we wish to support you in the course, in the journey. And and then talking about the community boot camps, right? I think, right now we have two community boot camps running. One is a 5 week data science boot camp, and the other is a 5 week deep learning boot camp. I hope you have the links already. So you'll be finding them under defi.tech/bootcamps. And in order to access the material, you just need to go there and sign up for one of the boot camps, or, whatever it is, whichever boot camp you have enrolled for. For time being, I'll probably go with 5 weeks data science boot camp. And once you go there, you'll be able to access the boot camp. I was enrolled in one of the past boot camps. That's why, you're able to see my certificate and all. But all you need to do is access the content, and try to probably go through all the content that was given out here, complete the quizzes, the challenges, and then try to get a certificate at the end of the learning module. So that's some context overall in terms of how you can utilize the learning content that is put up here. And also, we have put some instructions for each and every bootcamp on what all can be done and how you can place your learning schedules and everything. And if you are getting overwhelmed, what you can do. So all those support material has been already provided. And most importantly, if you're stuck somewhere, feel free to utilize our Discord channel. And I think Discord will be a great place to interact with fellow community members. And also, it's a perfect place where you can actually take help of others to be able to solve problems. Okay. So that's something that's there. And this is where you can access your 5 week data science bootcamp material. And probably for deep learning, you just need to go to the other tab. Now, this is where you can find the deep learning material. But I'm hoping, like, you are able to access this particular material comfortably with ease. So here there is week wise modules: week 0, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So you can complete them. You can place these as per your schedule in the next 5 weeks. And accordingly, you can try to learn them, as well as try to utilize the skills learned to apply those concepts on quizzes or in the AI challenge. Okay. I hope that sums it up in terms of where you can access the material. And talking about how we generally um promote the learning in the entire community is, like, we believe in the power of community learning, where everyone learns together, fails together, and comes together to be able to solve problems for themselves, be it in their learning journey or whatever it is, and eventually makes it happen. So that's where we fundamentally believe in community learning. And that's where we are asking you to go to probably Discord channel, where you can meet your fellow peers, and also at the same time some of the mentors from our team who help you in the journey. If you're stuck with somewhere, like, you can I would strongly recommend try to solve it yourself, for first few minutes. And if you are unable to still solve it, and if you are unable to find relevant resources, I think you should feel free to come and put it on the forums, and we'll be happy to see what can be done to solve that particular problem. Okay. And with that togetherness, I think, like, we'll be able to harness the power of community learning, and together we will be able to make it happen. When I say we will be able to make it happen, someone would be able to get started with their data science journey or deep learning journey, or probably in understanding a concept, whatever it is. That's what we mean when we say we can make it happen. And it can be solving problem or learning a particular concept. Okay. And with that, I think, let me talk about the format that we have tried to follow. I think we tried to place few day-wise modules or week-wise modules, where when it comes to week-wise modules, we have segregated 4 to 5 modules in each week, so that you can follow them on a daily basis. And also, there were some sessions which were supposed to be live sessions, but in the interest of the community, and also we understand it's hard to match each and everyone's timeline. So what we have done is we have recorded sessions which were put in between the modules, and these recorded sessions are taught by some of the renowned data science experts who come from the industry, who have been there, done it. And for real time communication and mentoring, there is Discord. So I'm sorry, like, it's not Slack, it's Discord. So you can use Discord for that. And we have basically a couple of quizzes and one project optionally. It's like, depending on whichever bootcamp you are in, you will have 1 or 2 projects. So that's something that will be there. And the overall criteria for completion is you have to mandatorily complete all the quizzes and the projects that are given to you. So whatever mandatory um, tasks that will be given in the process, you have to complete them. And this is something that we have already put it in the getting started essentials on the very first slide or wherever it is, you'll find. So here, if someone has to get a uh, wants to complete the 5 weeks of deep learning boot camp and get a certificate for themselves, they should complete quiz 1 and also quiz 2, and there will be a AI challenge. They have to complete all three things to be able to get a certificate or accomplish this particular boot camp. Similarly, the same with data science boot camp, I guess. There will be two quizzes and one challenge. And there might be one more optional challenge based on the intensity and also the workload. They might also give you more challenges just for fun. I mean, it may not be mandatorily done. And also after the completion of quizzes and especially after completion of the project, right, that is AI challenge, that's when we expect you to basically review your peers. So first you would submit the challenge, you would submit your predictions, and also you would submit your code. And after that, what we request is, we would give a timeline where you must mandatorily review your peers and then give their scores and also the feedback. And after that, we'll be releasing the final results and issuing the certificates. So that's how the entire timeline of bootcamp happens generally. And that's overall context about the completion. And now, what it takes to do, I think you have already taken the first step. That is, you are passionate about learning a new skill, and that's one of the reasons why you signed up. And you should probably have that perseverance and never give up attitude. And most importantly, you need to believe in yourself that you can do it. And and whatever comes, I mean, be it the errors or being stuck and all those things, don't worry too much about it. If you are too much bothered about them, we are there at the back, and you can always just pop up a message on Discord. Just share a message on Discord on one of the channels which is relevant, and someone from the team will be able to address your questions. So don't worry about that. So believe in yourself, and it's important you believe that you can do it. At any even point in time, no journey is very smooth. All right. Similarly, when you're learning something new for the very first time, you might end up getting into some hurdles, which is understandable. It's you don't need to be too harsh on yourself that, okay, I'm not able to solve this, I'm fit for nothing. Don't get into that negative zone. uh, just understand that, it's common. It's common for me, it's common for anyone who is getting started that way. It's like, as kids, I mean, as a baby, when we started learning to walk, we might have ended up failing several times, and we might have fallen several times. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as, um, it's as similar as riding a knowing to know how to ride a bicycle, right? You would end up making mistakes in the process, but eventually you will learn. So don't be very harsh, just give it some time. Sometimes, it might take longer than anticipated, which is fine. You just need to convince yourself that, you're going to make it happen. Okay. Just keep those things into perspective, and that's pretty much in terms of the presentation. And there are a few other learner stories we have had in the past. Probably, I'll also play them at the end. But that's pretty much from my end. I'll probably take few quick questions. I'll stop sharing the screen for now and take some questions. And okay, great. Okay, there are plenty of questions, but before that, I'll probably take some of the questions asked by some of you in the forms. We have a question from Gaurav asking, why is deep learning gaining popularity when we have ML? Okay, that's a good question. I think it's all about the applications, right? I think deep learning is a, I mean, basically everything falls under the same domain, of course. But when it comes to deep learning, the applications lately have been very breakthrough, and that's one of the reasons, probably, like, it is gaining so much popularity. And deep learning has got to do with a lot of image data sets, so that is another key factor that's been there. So there is no doubt. And obviously, like, you have enrolled. I'm not going to be buzzkill here, because obviously there is you have enrolled into the deep learning boot camp. In that, like, you'll find what are the different advanced techniques you will learn, and what kind of impact it will have. I mean, there is so much innovation that has happened in the last few years. One of the things that you might end up getting introduced to is GANs, which helps in synthetic data generation, which helps with a lot with privacy, and also data privacy, and data security, and bunch of other things. Um, and it's very novel that way. I mean, probably, like, you'll get more hands-on experience during the boot camp. And now I'll probably go to the next question. Do I get access to recorded lectures and materials if somehow I missed particular dates? Utkarsh, don't worry about it. You'll get access to all the lectures. I mean, like, to make it easy for the learners, we have put all the lectures offline, so you'll be able to access them at your own time. So don't worry about that. And anyone who has similar questions, this is the response. Mujahid asked, will I be awarded with certification after completing this boot camp? I'm sure many people have this question out there in live chat as well. Yes, you would be awarded a certificate, but there is a criteria. Obviously, like, we can't give certificate to everyone who has enrolled. We want people to put some effort in terms of learning the topics, and also completing certain tasks. And that's how we made it more measurable. We are giving a couple of quizzes which are more hands-on. Don't think that, like, they're simple quizzes. You may have to pick up a data set and also solve problems in the process of solving those quizzes. So yeah, just be cognitive that, like, it's not very straightforward. I mean, you need to put some effort, you need to complete certain tasks, and that's when you would end up getting a certificate. So it's just that, like, you need to complete certain quizzes, one project slash assignment, and then at the end of the boot camp, once you're done with that assignment or the project, you will be asked to do peer reviews, and after that, we will issue the final certificates. So that is the process. Okay. And someone asked Athar, will you touch about medical diagnostics using DL, or any suggestions for academic research in this field? Medical diagnostics, I think we have. I mean, especially in the boot camp, we may not touch, but I'm pretty sure, like, we have hosted some of the challenges, or there are some data sets related to medical diagnostics. So upon completion of the boot camp, you can feel free to go through that, and I think you'll be able to find some good references as well for your academic research. And I've seen several PhD and master students using some of our data sets for their research, which is good to know. And yeah. And meanwhile, let me ask some live questions. Someone asked, how much time should we invest per week to complete the bootcamp successfully? This is a question from Stephanie. I think, I would strongly recommend you to invest at least 8 to 12 hours a week. I think that's manageable, I guess. I mean, if you're a working professional or something, then probably try spending 1 or 2 hours every day in the evening, and try spending more hours during the weekend. If you're a student, I would recommend the same, because you're in between the academic semester. So I think the objective or the focus would be same for both who are in academics as well as who are professionals. So just try spending those 8 to 12 hours, and in some cases you might end up needing more time, but I think 8 to 12 hours is pretty good enough if you spend quality time. Okay. Is there a specific schedule? um, we have a question from Carolina. There is, I mean, I think there needs to be some context to this question. Are you meaning we would be having some live sessions or something? If so, we don't have any live sessions. Everything, the material is provided upfront. You need to place them, place the schedule based on the weekly modules that we are providing based on week on week basis. So we would leave it up to you in terms of scheduling things. But we have sort of provided the material, segregated them based on week wise and also day wise. So that should give you a fair understanding in terms of placing them. And let me. Someone is Chelis has asked, are assignments graded automatically or by peers? That's a good question. So yeah, when it comes to AI challenges, right, it is partially automated. So some of it, like, your scores that you get, the prediction scores that you get, is automated. The moment you submit, you'll be able to get those scores. Okay. And after that, obviously the code needs to be manually reviewed. That's where we take the help of peer reviews to be able to evaluate assignments. And talking about quizzes, they are automatically evaluated. So there is partial evaluation in um, one of the basically one of the types of assignments, that is AI challenges, and that's where we would be using peer reviews. Okay, this is the first time. Can someone tell me about week zero? Okay, Taiwo, I would like to know, what do you want to know about week zero? Is it week zero data science bootcamp or week zero deep learning? I think generally, like, we keep week zero that would help people to get started with Python basics or prerequisites of the bootcamp. And I would recommend you to go through the bootcamp URL that you have registered for, and there will be clear instructions written. And if you are still having some specific question there, feel free to ask a question on the forum, and we will be happy to help. Okay. Will you touch NoSQL and SQL? No, not during the boot camp, but those are very important in terms of building real world solutions. For that, like, we have some independent courses. We would probably recommend them at the end of the boot camp, so don't worry about that. Yeah. Is deep reinforcement learning the current trend, or is there any new branches evolved, especially in the field of finance? Um, to be honest, like, I'm not a big expert in this particular area, reinforcement learning. So I may not be the right person to address this, but we will probably get back to you on this. Yeah. Is there a selection criteria? Okay, for anyone who registered, we have selected them. I mean, they are by default um, registered or selected for the bootcamp, whatever you call. There is no selection as such. But if you are talking about evaluation criteria in terms of issuing certificates, that's where we want each and every person to complete all the quizzes with certain cutoff. The cutoff is already mentioned in the uh, in the bootcamp pages. Of course, it would be 70 or 75%, and there would be a AI challenge. You need to accomplish that with valid submission. When I say valid submission, uh, your code should be meaningful, and also whatever submission you're making should be valid. So that is more important. Yeah. So these are important. And we have another question from Rosella. Are there any target accuracy to be achieved in the projects? So this is something that we would communicate. Right, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. During the boot camp, I think usually in some of the projects we try to keep it at 60 or 70%. So you try to get that understanding on the AI challenge page. So yeah. Carlin Jackson is asking this question: to what extent will this bootcamp prepare us for professional work? Like, if I were to interview using only knowledge obtained here, how ready would I be? That's a good question. So, one thing I can definitely say is we would prepare you to be problem solvers, right? That's the focus behind the bootcamp, where we would want people to acquire a particular knowledge and also utilize that particular knowledge to be able to solve a problem. That's our objective. And talking about whether it would help in interviews or not, I think that is very subjective, because again, I mean, it depends on the interview opportunity and bunch of other things. But that being said, in the past, what we have seen from the learners is they have been better equipped whenever they have gone for hands-on boot camps, like similar to DPhi. They have been better equipped, and they have been able to better present themselves about the quality of work they have done and the quality of learning they have had. They were able to display that in the interview. So it's all about the practice. I think on a given day, some of the best can may not perform that well, and some of them, like, who are, like, who just got started and, like, who are very hands on, may end up performing well as well. So it solely depends on the day and bunch of other things. But definitely the boot camp will help you get hands on experience, which will help you to do professional work, that we can say. But at the same time, this is not the end. Basically, this will help you get started with the journey. There is a lot more to then learn, and there is so much more new advancements that are happening on a very consistent basis, very frequent basis. So I would recommend you to keep consistently learning about different technologies, and also different new innovations that are happening in the space. Yeah, it should be a continuous learning journey. That's what I mean. Will you open any big data boot camps in the future? Possibly, yes, Carlos. Yeah, we have a couple of webinars on that, master classes on that. We would probably consider having them in the future. Thanks for the recommendation. Um, Pawan has this question: what happens if weekly course are not completed? Do we have grace period? That's a good question. So, I mean, like, you have 5 weeks, right? You can complete those weekly courses whenever you want. You need to adjust the schedule. So now, within 5 weeks, you do whatever you can to be able to complete it. Okay, sometimes we see that, like, in the first week, people may not end up spending so much time. In the second, third weeks, they ramp it up. They end up spending much more time, and eventually they complete it by week 4, week 5. Okay. And we have also seen people, like, where they end up spending a lot more time in the first few weeks and try to complete the boot camp by week 4 or week 3 also. So it totally depends on your time commitment. You have 5 weeks of time. Now you place week 1 on week 1 or week 2. That's up to you. That's up to your planning. Just ensure um, you accomplish all the topics by end of week 5. That's how we schedule it on the timeline basis. Is there a way to know how I compare with others on the challenge? Right now, we don't have it. Earlier, we used to, I mean, even now we have AI challenges, but right now, we don't have some sort of a leaderboard. But we will see, like, we'll probably try to bring in some leaderboard mechanism or something. If there is any update, we will keep you posted on that. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I mean the final project is mostly a real world data set, so you'll get some hands-on exposure. Yeah. My office system doesn't allow to install any software. How to proceed? Please suggest. Okay, that's a tricky question, but I think we have something called as Google Colab, which is a online software, you can call it. Or, I mean, like, it's a online ID which provides you with Jupyter environment, so you can run your code there. You don't need to install any software for that. um, DJ is asking, you are making it look easy and enjoyable. Is that how it is practically? um, yes and no. I think it reminds me of one quote, like, if it's all about, I mean, if you enjoy doing something, all right, I think you make things look easy, and, like, you'll make it happen. So before probably getting stuck with some of the processes, just remember why you started, and try to enjoy the process, enjoy the learning process. And to be honest, like, learning data science and deep learning is actually easy. So all you need to do is put in some adequate efforts to be able to understand what's exactly happening. So that's where, like, what we try to do is we try to make you understand the intuition behind things first, before we gradually get into the technical topics. So that makes the process a bit more easy. So it will be definitely fun. So give it a shot. Carlos has this question. Hey Chanukya, nice to meet you. Is this bootcamp helpful for someone that is willing to move from investment banking to data engineering or big data role? Okay, that's a good question. So I don't know why you are moving from investment banking to this field, but I'm sure there must be strong reason. So this bootcamp, I think, especially data science bootcamp, will help you get started with data science. It will help you understand the nuances of what is data, we can meaningfully use data to be able to solve business problems. So these are certain things that we teach, and also we give some practical examples, and you end up getting started with the journey. Whereas the roles that you are talking about, right, data engineer and big data role, they are related to it. These concepts would help, but I think those are slightly different functions. And for data engineer, I think we have a data engineering bootcamp. I would probably give a link to it, where, like, you can probably make use of it. Maybe, yeah, we will try to probably put that link. Wait, let me just probably share that link. I think it must be somewhere. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, for data engineering, just follow this particular link. I just sharing it on the chat. And for big data, we have few master classes. You will find them on live sessions. I would probably recommend you to go through that. Are we going to have access to them after 5 weeks? Yes, absolutely, you'll have. Is it mandatory to watch the videos till the last? That's a good question. Um, I think it's the entire behind the bootcamp is to help you get started with the field, right? And we want you to make use of the material the most. So we would advise you to watch all the videos till the end so that you get complete context about a concept. Uh, that being said, sometimes we see learners miss some of the concepts or avoid it because of various reasons. Some are already experts in it, so they try to avoid that. Some may avoid it for different reasons, which I think some of you might encounter in the journey. But our recommendation would be to watch the videos. Is data structures and algorithms needed to become a data scientist, Arun? That's a good question. I think that's a burning question that we see, especially in freshers who wants to get a job as a data scientist in India specifically, right? In India, and also in some of the big tech corporations who adapt to the approach of conducting a technical assessment, which is a coding assessment, right? Like Facebook's, Google's, and all. Even for data scientist roles, they expect you to be good with data structures and algorithms. So from the job perspective, if your objective is to get into those XYZ companies who has this process, then probably yes, I mean, like, you need to have a very strong expertise in those fields. Mm, Otherwise also, like, I think it is better to have some good expertise on data structures and algorithms. I think we also teach that initially about data structures and algorithms, but those are not that deep to the level of competitive programming. So I'll probably try to keep that discussion out of the equation at the moment. But it becomes a bit more important when it comes to getting employed in certain organizations or following that technology hiring practice. Should we join both boot camps or one? I think joining two boot camps would be very intense and heavy. So I would recommend joining one of them. I think I'm hoping we are done with the questions, or okay, is it a beginner level bootcamp or some level of data science or programming knowledge is required? When it comes to data science bootcamp, I think we must have given in week zero the ways to get started with Python and all. So we might have given prerequisite material as well. So it is for anyone with basic to no knowledge can get started. In the past, we have seen teachers joining in with no knowledge of data science. We have seen uh, people from biology background and different other fields have joined in and able to make most of the resources. All they had was the intent to learn and make it happen. So I think that's what that strong urge has made things happen for them. I'm sure, like, it is going to be the same case for all of you. Yeah. Thanks. I think that's pretty much for the day. I think we tried covering most of the questions. I'll check if I didn't cover one or two, but I think it has covered most of the questions. I wish you the very best in the learning journey of whichever bootcamp you have enrolled for. And as I said, uh, please feel free to reach out on Discord if you get stuck somewhere. And And also make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and also make sure you uh, follow some of our social media like LinkedIn, so that you get updates on a frequent basis. I think some of you are asking for updates, so don't forget to subscribe. Follow our LinkedIn for more frequent updates. And someone is asking, is there an individual project we can work on? Yes, you can. At the end of the, I think that is one of the assignments you'll be given. And that's pretty much from our end. Thanks a lot for joining in, and happy learning and happy weekend. Bye.